Have you ever had the feeling that something or someone is always watching you, that it is an entity, a constant presence that crosses time, the world of games always there, but never exactly the same? Behind the scenes of Final Fantasy, there is a name that repeats itself, the name that echoes like a shadow behind each narrative. No matter which game, which world, which protagonist, Sid always finds a way to be present, sometimes as a hero, other times as a scientist, a king, a mentor, or even a villain. But why? This can't just be a coincidence. It's not just a creative resource, it's not an Easter egg, and for longtime fans there's something much bigger behind it, a pattern, a purpose, a hidden cycle that goes far beyond traditional storytelling. CID may be the centerpiece of something much more complex, perhaps a force that connects all universes, or, who knows, a prison he's never been able to escape. Each version of CID carries a fragment of something that defies the logic of time and space. What if you're still there? You think this is all your coincidence? Prepare to see what has always been before your eyes. Speak, people. This is Rodrigo Aron. Sun's Video Games in Final Sources and 2. The First Sight, an ordinary man, but with the mastery over the most advanced technology of that world, the aircraft. A character that seems displaced, as if he had come from another time and he does not belong to that universe, and even so is fundamental the journey of heroes. And Sources and 3 themselves back, but now as another man, a new name, a new face, but same role. Architect of flying machines. Once again he delivers to the protagonist a technology that challenges the understanding of the world, a messenger of progress or a watchdog of balance. In Finale Sources and 4, he becomes an active part of the resistance, a loyal engineer who takes risks to keep the ships operating and the group moving. Sources and 5, he is an almost prophetic scientist who studies the crystals, the sources of primordial power of the entire universe, a guardian of ancestral knowledge. Sources and 6, CID is now a creator of Magitech, the union of magic and machine. He knows too much and his guilt consumes him. In Final Fantasy VII CID, Highwind is a playable character, a player who dreams of space, who struggles with the past and seeks a greater purpose. He speaks in frustration, as if trapped once again. In Final Fantasy VIII, Cid directs Balamgard, a man with access to too much information, who knows too much, who acts with surgical precision. In Final Fantasy IX CID, he is a king transformed into an insect, but still he holds the power to make history walk, a deformed but indispensable being. Who does in the 10 Cid Sources is the leader of the Zaubed, a man who defies the gods with science, who hides a flying ship over a sea of sand. In Final Fantasy Dode, Cid is an obsessed scientist, manipulating a forbidden energy, turning knowledge into destructive power. In Final Fantasy XIII, Cid tries to change fate and dies for it. Final Fantasy XIV brings Cid the Mechanic, an old man but with too much wisdom, a link with the protagonists. In Final Fantasy XVI, Cid is the warrior strategist, he is Mars. Every game he changes his form of function, his lineup, but he is always there, always in the local center. Coincidence or programming? The multiverse theory. What if I told you that all these versions of CD are just reflections of a single entity, a divided soul, multiplied into different realities, forced to live infinite lives and disconnected worlds? This is the basis of CD's multiversal theory, an idea that says he is much more than a recurring character. He is the link, the thread, the dimensional observer. Cid always appears where the balance is about to collapse, always at the moments when magical, technological, or spiritual power begins to threaten the existence of the world itself. It comes up with the tools, the concepts, the keys to prevent the universe from collapsing or to ensure that the collapse happens in a correct way. Each version of Cid seems to carry a strange knowledge, as if he had lived it all before. Like, I knew what was coming. He is an engineer in a medieval world, a scientist in a magical world, a king with access to ancient machines, a rebel leader who hides spaceships underground. None of this would make sense if he were just a character like any other. But if he is a constant, an interdimensional anchor, a guardian designed to keep the world separate but functioning in harmony. Everything changes. What then would be the point of restoration of the multiverse? A being who has seen it all, lost it all, now tries to keep the fabric of reality stitched together thread by thread, signs that Sid remembers from past lives. There are times when Sid almost gives himself up when his actions suggest he remembers. In Final Fantasy Type 0, for example, the CID of that universe discovers that the world is trapped. In a cycle of repetition, he realizes that events repeat themselves, that death is illusory and tries to destroy the system itself. An extreme behavior, but understandable if he is condemned to live it all over again, over and over again. In Final Fantasy VII, Sitio dreams of obsessed space, but when he finally gets there, there's an emptiness in his eyes, as if it's not the first time, as if something is missing, or as if he already knows it wasn't enough. Sources and 8. The director of SIDE seems to have plans. Within plans, he acts as if every step he has already foreseen, as if he is merely repeating a story he already knows. And most disturbing, no other character in the franchise has this level of recurrence, this level of adaptation, this constant presence, as if they were part of the very fabric of the universe. It's like Sid is always trying to warn us, or maybe trying to free Sid as a key piece of a larger plan. This Sid is not only a multiversal traveler, but the last bastion of a war that no one else always remembers with me. Every Final Fantasy universe is threatened by something big, forbidden magic. Gods, OSX, ancient wars, forgotten technologies. There is always a moment when everything seems about to fall apart, and it always pops. His role changes according to the need of the world. Sometimes he needs to speed up the heroes, other times he needs to slow them down. Sometimes he is the mind behind salvation, other times he is the architect of disaster. But all of this may be part of a larger plan, a plan to keep the worlds apart, to keep them from merging and creating something worse. Sid may be the last fragment of an ancient civilization, a guardian appointed to prevent the multiverse from collapsing. And every time a new crisis begins, he is reborn, a new form with a new purpose, but always with the same burden, the same weight. And when it's all over, maybe he'll be the only one who still remembers everything, the only one who knows what's really at stake. Reflection. So, now that you've seen all this, is Sid just a recurring name, or is he the invisible pillar that sustains the entire existence of Final Fantasy? What if the Square Enix have been trying to hide this history from us for decades in fragments, in symbols, and in repeated lives? Comment below which CID marked you, which version made you suspect there was something more. If you like this video and want to receive more videos like this from other characters, please leave the like, subscribe to the channel, and activate the bell. Thanks guys. A hug. We're together.